Hi, we're Lee and Mandy and we're the Frugal Travellers.
Welcome to our first ever Frugal Travel Cost video. This is on Bulgaria. For those of you who are new to our channel, we are independent budget travellers who have been travelling for 30 years. We left Australia in August 2017 to travel indefinitely.
And in order to do that, we have to stay on a budget of around about $20 US a day each. So we're careful with our money.
Very careful. Very frugal, hence the name.
People often ask us how much it costs to travel, so we decided that we would do a series of videos on the travel costs of each country that we go through.
And at the end of the video, we're going to do a total breakdown of everything we actually spent. It'll be an average of what it cost us per person, per day, for our 13 days in Bulgaria. We're going to break it down into 5 different categories, starting with the first one, which tends to be the most expensive for most people. It's accommodation.
We'll give you the prices in Bulgarian lev and we'll put the other currencies down the side.
We used to arrive in the city, Lonely Planet guidebook in hand. One of us would sit with the bags and the other one would walk around for about 2 or 3 hours to find the cheapest accommodation.
Yeah, we'd cover the whole town looking for a place. It was hard work, wasn't it?
Definitely.
Things have changed a little bit now. We tend to use booking.com and Airbnb to book stuff online so we know where we're going when we arrive.
And the great thing about that, of course, is you can read the reviews, you can find out if that incredibly cheap place is actually a good place to stay or not. But we found Bulgaria was actually more expensive than we expected for accommodation.
Yep.
So we ended up couch surfing. We paid for 5 nights accommodation in total in a hostel in Plovdiv, but the other 8 nights in Sofia and Rus, we spent at 3 different couch surfing places.
If you don't know what couch surfing is, it's a way to stay with local people. They can offer you a couch or a spare room and you have a bit of a cultural exchange. You eat together, they show you around sometimes. It's a really nice way to see another place.
Our couch surfing place in Rus, Lee actually made Turkish menemen for dinner one night. It was excellent. And our host in Rus took us to the churches in Ivanovo.
Yeah, it's
That
really
was
nice.
so something that we'd never heard of.
Yeah.
We went there and it was a brilliant experience.
And often you can either take a gift or take some food and share something with the people.
What we tend to do is we like going to the supermarkets with our host and we'd buy the ingredients for 1 or 2 meals.
Yeah, and then we all sit down and eat together and it's a really good way to exchange our cuisine and theirs.
Plovdiv, we booked 3 nights at the bike hostel on booking.com. We paid 36 lev per night for a double room. And we loved Plovdiv so much we decided to extend our stay a further 2 nights. So we discussed it with the owner directly and we got a discount. We paid 30 lev per night, so that was really good.
We tend to do it a lot. We stay in a place for a couple of nights. If we really like it, then we extend, and that's when you can get a discount if you talk to the owner. So our total cost for accommodation in Bulgaria was 168 lev because we only spent 5 nights in paid accommodation.
Section 2, food and drink. Just so you know, we do actually have notes. He's got them.
Yep.
On the beach. Because this is our first ever Frugal Travel Cost video, we are sort of like finding our way. So
Yeah.
please, in the comments below, let us know if you've got any other ideas, suggestions, things that we could improve on going forward, things that we've missed that would have been good to have included. Yeah.
Bear with us, but this is Mandy's favourite subject, food and drink.
Yeah, definitely. And how was it in Bulgaria?
Well, fantastic. Loved it. And the number one thing we ate mostly to save money was kebabs.
Oh dear.
I know, it's terrible. We'd just come from Turkey and we'd eaten a lot of them there and they are very cheap and good value for money and tasty, don't you think so?
Which is probably what helped keep our costs down.
The average kebab is under 4 lev.
We did eat other things as well. In
Yeah.
Plovdiv we went to chili restaurant, which was excellent. Picked out the dishes you wanted and they reheated them. And that was brilliant. I think it was 13 lev for the 2 of us.
If you're into restaurants, then expect to pay around about 10 lev a meal.
When we were in Rus, because it's a smaller provincial city, we went to a restaurant there and I think the most expensive main dish was around 10 lev, but there were still quite a few for 6.50.
In Sofia, we struggled a little bit to find good restaurants, didn't we? So unfortunately, we ate quite a lot of fast food. We went to Hesburger and they do a meal deal for 4 lev 50.
We went for breakfast one day before the guided tour and that again was I think $4.50.
One thing we noticed in a lot of the places, fast food is quite cheap and there's a lot of kiosks around, especially like at bus stations and train stations where you can buy a pizza or some pastries, things like that for a couple of lev, really very cheap.
Yeah. And one of the things we absolutely loved about Bulgaria was incredible. The coffee machines that you can find on the streets
Yeah.
and railway stations, bus stations and parks. They're
Bulgarians
everywhere.
love their coffee, and
Yeah.
so they're all over the place, and you can buy them for a coffee for as cheap as 40 statinki. It's crazy money.
They're actually really good.
Really good quality. So
Yeah.
you start your day with one of those and wash away the hangover, and you're good to go.
Because, great segue, Lee.
Yeah, bringing us on to beer. We'd pay around 2 lev for a 2-litre bottle of beer in a supermarket, which is silly cheap.
Incredible.
In fact, yeah, beer I'm sure was cheaper than soft drink and water. If you like your beer, it's a good place to be.
And they had quite a few different types of wine as well, because they do make wine in Bulgaria. It's nice and sunny in summer, and they were quite reasonably priced. We found some in a local shop. I think it was 2 lev 35 for a 2-litre plastic bottle of wine. So we tried that. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it's drinkable.
I even found some New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, but that was 28 lev a bottle. So yeah, I gave that one a miss. Way out of our budget.
And talking about supermarkets, like that was probably the place where we shopped the most, wasn't it? Billa was one of the most popular ones that we went to a lot. Really good quality food, like very good value for money as well.
They do really good salads. The delicatessen bar is amazing, like you get cold meats, etc. But the salads in that part of the world are delicious.
We would always go and buy some fresh bread, buy some salad, some meats, things like that, and then sit and have a picnic somewhere in a park or in a nice place. And that's how we travel on the cheap, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
When we were in Sofia, because we'd spent a lot less than we thought, we decided to treat ourselves with coffee and cake one day.
It cost 10 lev for both coffees and cake. Very good value.
In Bulgaria, we spent 249 lev on food, and we spent 65 lev on alcohol. Section 3 is transport.
First of all, entering and leaving the country. Most people fly in. We were travelling overland, so we came in from Istanbul, Turkey, to Plovdiv, and we came by bus because it was cheaper than taking the train. We'll put a link up to show you that. And we left going over the Danube Bridge to Romania, so we walked out of the country. We didn't take any transport.
No.
That's true.
Why was that?
Well, in Rus, the buses were quite expensive. There was like a mafia that had a monopoly on it. We realised we could get around that by taking a local bus to the bridge, walking across to the town on the Romanian side, and then getting a local bus from there to Bucharest.
Yeah.
It's much cheaper that way, wasn't
Definitely
it?
check that video out if you want to see how to do it the cheap way.
Getting around Bulgaria, we found that trains are much cheaper than buses after doing a bit of research.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing to know. If you want to do it cheapest, go by train.
So we went from Plovdiv to Sofia.
That cost 9 lev. It was really good value for a 5-hour train journey.
And we got the train from Sofia to Rus, and that was 20 lev per person.
Regarding transport inside the cities, well, in Plovdiv, we walked everywhere, didn't we? Yeah, it's a really small, compact city, so you don't need to get transport around. And it's the best way to see a city, to be honest.
And walk through the parks, of which there are so many.
And also, because we were staying at the bike hostel, the guy gave us bikes included in our accommodation stay, so we did a bit of cycling around, which was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was excellent. And in Sofia, the public transport system is brilliant.
Yeah, fantastic. You can get a day pass on the Sofia public transport for 4 lev.
Yep, per person.
Per person, and that allows you all day travel on buses, trams, trolley buses and metro. Yeah, so you can go. We went all around the city, and we actually spent a day just cruising around to get out the cold, because it was freezing cold.
Oh, and we were waiting for our couch surfing host to come home.
Yeah.
We both got quite ill after that. Yeah, oh dear. Had colds for about 6 weeks. But
Yeah. Public transport is fantastic. It's worth riding the trams themselves because they are just so much fun. Great way to see the city. Section 4, sightseeing. We don't do a lot of sightseeing as far as going into museums and the paid touristy things very much, because we've been traveling for a long time, and after a long time of doing it, you get a bit tired of those things. So we like to walk around the streets and see the city for what it is and check out a new country just exploring it.
Having said that though, like one of the great things about Bulgaria
Yeah.
in both Plovdiv and Sofia were the Roman ruins
Yeah.
that are just in the city centres.
It's amazing. There's history and culture all over the cities, and it's lying everywhere, and it's free to go to, most of it, isn't it? And there's some very interesting mosques and churches to visit as well.
One thing we did do in both Sofia and Plovdiv was go on guided walking tours. They're the tours that they're free to go on, move between 1.5 to 2.5 hours, and then at the end you tip the guide.
So the guided walking tours were 10 lev per trip.
And as we said before, we went to the rock churches in Ivanovo, and our couch surfing host took us there.
Yeah.
That was
amazing. That was 5 lev each.
yes, for entry.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Grand total of our sightseeing expenditure in Bulgaria.
Was 20 lev.
Yeah, that was pretty frugal. Now on to the final section, section 5, and that's miscellaneous.
So the first expense was 8 lev for the SIM card, which was very good value for money for 1 month's phone. And
I
how
think
much
it was like
data?
10 gig of data.
Yeah.
And like free local calls. I know a lot of people with European SIM cards won't need one, but we'd just come from Turkey. We only had our Aussie SIM card, so
Yeah.
we needed to get like a local one. And we tend to share a SIM card because I can hotspot Lee.
One phone number is enough. I spent 8 lev going to watch the SKA Sofia play because I love to watch my football, and I was fortunate to be in Sofia for a match. €4 for a professional football match is pretty good value for money.
We also had an expenditure for medication because, as we said, we got cold and wet in
Yeah.
Sofia.
We spent 9 lev 20 statinki on medication.
Just cough syrup and throat lozenges.
Yeah,
and
we were pretty rough, weren't we?
aspirin and stuff. Yeah.
It was worth it in the end. Also, we spent 8 lev on souvenirs when we were at the rock church at Ivanovo. We bought some bracelets for family members, and Mandy spent 60 statinki on going to the toilet, didn't you?
At Ruth's bus station.
Yeah, yeah. I think the toilets are free in most places, aren't they? But in
I'm not too
some-
sure. We went
Yeah.
to Hesburger a
Yeah.
few times in Sofia because, you know, they knew us by then.
Yeah, exactly. So find a fast food place, you can always find a way to go to the toilet for free if you look hard enough. So in total, our miscellaneous expenditure was 34 lev. In conclusion, we spent 13 days in Bulgaria, and our total expenditure was 628 lev for the two of us. 314 lev each, which is 24 lev per day. That is €12 per person per day, or $15 US, which is very cheap for Europe.
The cost was so low because we only paid for 5 nights accommodation, the other 8 nights for free. We've just about come to the end of this video, which is fortunate really. I just want to show you
Yeah.
where we're sitting.
The tide's coming in.
Look at this. It wasn't that close before. I think we've got about 5 minutes and it'll hit us.
So thanks for watching. I hope this has been useful for you and you know a little bit more about the cost of budget travel in Bulgaria now. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate that, and please do subscribe.
And hit the notification button. And also, we love getting comments from people, like whether you've got suggestions, questions, things you'd like to know about frugal travel.
We're going to produce a lot more of these frugal travel cost videos, so keep a lookout for those.
So it's goodbye from us from the Algarve in Portugal.
And thanks for watching. Bye.